So I know I'm a little bit late to this type of video, but I thought I'd just make it anyways. I've been putting it off for a little while, but here are my most anticipated games of 2025. Again, I know I'm very late to this video, but I'm still going to make it because we're still early in the year. It's only been a month, so let me go through them. So we're going to start with number 10, which is Big Walk. Big Walk is one for me, which I've added into the list mainly because it's being done by the same people who did Untitled Goose Game, which, if you didn't know, is actually an Australian-made game. And not just an Australian-made game, but made here in Victoria, where I was born. It's an Australian-made game. I felt obligated to put it on the list. I wasn't going to put it too high because I'm not entirely stupidly excited for it, but I'm still fairly excited for Big Walk. You know, I'm excited to see what they do. I loved Untitled Goose Game. It was just fun. It was just dumb fun. Also, a creator that I look up to a lot, Pog, is also voice acted in the trailer, so I feel a little bit more obligated to, you know, talk about it and add it into the list. And yeah, then going on to number 9 is Game of Thrones King's Road, which is a Game of Thrones RPG game, which is releasing on mobile and PC, skipping console, weirdly enough, but, you know, whatever. I don't really like that they're going in favor for mobile phones instead of console. I feel like that's going to drop the quality a little bit, but I could be wrong. Phones are getting pretty powerful. It could just be going for a cloud gaming type thing. That I think that's what they're aiming for, but, you know, whatever. I love Game of Thrones. It's one of my most favorite IPs of all time. I just love it. I love the books. I love the show. I love the Tattletale game. The Tattletale game's amazing, and I really just want to see what they're doing. I love the idea of a Game of Thrones RPG. I hope it has character creation. I forgot if it did or not. I don't know if you play as a set character or you don't. I hope it does have character creation, because an RPG Game of Thrones game that lets you make your character would just be absolutely epic. Then going on to number 8 is The Outer Worlds 2, which is Obsidian's sequel to the original game, The Outer Worlds. That's meant to be releasing this year. We got a little bit of gameplay at the Game of the Year Awards, which again is another one that gets me very excited. I love The Outer Worlds 1. It's one of my favorite sci-fi games of all time. It's just astonishing. It's so good. It's Obsidian, and Obsidian makes great games. If you have not played The Outer Worlds 1, I highly recommend The Outer Worlds 1. It is an absolutely incredible game. Then going on to number 7, which is another Obsidian game, which is Avowed, which is also releasing this year in 14 days from now. Avowed being, again, my most anticipated fantasy game of the year, or one of my most anticipated fantasy games of the year. It's great. Again, it's just more Obsidian. Avowed's obviously original IP. It's no sequel to anything. I see it more of a spiritual successor to Skyrim for me personally. I'm very excited for it. I love Skyrim. I love the Elder Scrolls series, and even though Avowed has nothing to do with the Elder Scrolls and isn't even being done by Bethesda, it's being done by Obsidian, which I feel is the closest we're ever going to get to any sort of closest we're ever going to get to any sort of Elder Scrolls 6. Then going on to number 6, which is the new Demon Slayer game, which is a sequel to the original Chronicles game, which released back in, I think it was 2020, 2021, which I'm not a big arena fighting guy. I don't really like arena fighting games. They're not really my type of game. But the Demon Slayer Hokkaido Chronicles, I think it's how you say it, was fantastic. I played it. I think I sunk 70 hours into it, 80 hours, almost got the platinum, but getting those S ranks was really fucking hard. But I love the game. It was so fun. It was so fucking fun. Demon Slayer works so well as an arena fighting game. And as much as I do believe this game should have been a DLC for the first one, I'm still stupidly excited for this, and I think it's going to be incredible. Again, I'm not a big fighting game guy, but for me, Demon Slayer, the sequel, the Chronicles game sequel, I'm just really excited for it, you know. Going on to number 5, and this isn't unironically, is Killer Bean the game. But I know you think I've probably added this in as a joke, but I actually haven't. I'm very excited for this game. It actually looks surprisingly good. I thought it was just going to be a cheap cash grab, but from the looks of it, it looks like they're actually trying, and something like it could actually be a really good game. It enters early access this year, and it's just going to be one of those games I will play because it just looks really good. And I know I probably shouldn't add it on the list, but I'm not joking. It looks decent, and I'm very excited for it. Going on to number 4, which is Doom the Dark Ages, which some might be surprised it's not higher on the list, but for me, it fits perfectly at number 4. When you see what the next 3 are, you'll understand what I mean. Doom the Dark Ages. I love Doom. It's Doom. It's just more Doom. There's not really anything else much more to say about it. It's just more Doom. I love Doom. It's going to be more Doom. I get to fucking kill demons. smash their fucking skulls in. I couldn't care less. It's going to be Doom. Yeah. So, and then number 3, which is a game that launches in 5 days, which is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I've already pre-ordered. It's sitting there. I can't wait. Never played the first one, but the thought of just being a cool fucking medieval dude with a sword, running into battle and then killing people, it just seems epic to me. You know, I'm really excited for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And even though I never played the first one, as much as I do want to, as much as I didn't play the first one, it's just a game I can look at and go, this is going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It is going to be fantastic. I can't fret that enough. Then going into number 2, oh, sorry, Kingdom Come Deliverance is 3. Number 3, not 2. Yeah, sorry. And then number 2, going into number 2. Dying Light the Beast, which is another one. I love Dying Light. My favorite franchise of all time. I can't fret that enough. I love the first one. I loved its parkour. I loved the world. I loved the map. The map was done fantastically. I loved how it was a little bit more indents. So there was more alleys. It was more close quarters. It was great. And then going into the second game, I love the second game. I felt it lacked a little bit. I feel like they promised a lot and didn't really deliver on it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that they really promised and it never really ended up coming true. But I did like the second one. It was a lot of fun. I loved playing co-op with me mates. It was a blast. But the first one holds a special place in my heart. Crane is maybe the greatest gaming protagonist, in my opinion, of all time. I love Crane. He's just great. And knowing he's going to be coming back in the sequel is just even more exciting. And knowing it's coming in the next, 4 months is just... It gets me giddy. I'm really excited. I love Dying Light. It's one of my favorite game franchises of all time, and I physically just can't wait for this game. Then going on to number 1, which is no surprise to anyone if you know me, but is Ghost of Yotei, which is obviously the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. I cannot wait for Ghost of Yotei. It is about to be an absolute masterpiece. If you've never played Ghost of Tsushima, do it. I beg you, please. It's so fucking good. It's my favorite game. It literally got me into Japanese style games, and that's why I'm somewhat excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I have my concerns about that game, but that's for another video and another time. Ghost of Yotei, I can't wait for it. I never played a Sucker Punch game before Ghost of Tsushima. I'd never played a Sucker Punch game before, and as soon as I played Ghost of Tsushima, I realized how incredibly amazing Sucker Punch is as a studio. They're just absolutely incredibly amazing. I cannot fret that enough. Sucker Punch is great. Sucker Punch has released absolute masterpieces. It's also being done by PlayStation, and I love PlayStation. And Ghost of Yotei is my most anticipated game of the year. And I thought I'd end this video off with honourable mentions. Starting off with the honourable mentions, and yes, you are going to hear this in this video. GTA 6. GTA 6 for me is, I'm so excited for it. It's looking like it's going to be really good. I loved the fifth. I loved the fifth game. I didn't really play any of the other ones. I played a little bit of 4, and then I played a little bit of San Andreas, but I really got into the fifth one only last year or the year before, and it was so fun. It was great. I didn't really like the multiplayer, but the story was immaculate. And then I played Red Dead Redemption 2, and I realized Rockstar really is the goats of making story games. Probably next to Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog for me, well, they hold a special place in my heart. But yeah, the reason why GTA 6 isn't on the main list is because I just felt like it didn't deserve to be on that main list quite yet. I feel like we don't know enough about it for me to really go, I want it on that top 10. And plus, it doesn't beat out Killer Bee in the game. It's Killer Bee in the game, come on. Then going on to the other game, which was Monster Hunter Wilds, which I love Monster Hunter World. It was a great game, but I'm not really that big of a fan of the Monster Hunter series. I just didn't really like the Monster Hunter games. I did like World, but yet again, I'm not convinced enough to buy Wilds. It doesn't seem like something I really want to buy. And again, I'm very burnt out on games that have come out of Asia recently, which is a little hypocritical, seeing as I mentioned Demon Slayer as the Chronicles 2 is in my list, but whatever, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, so I'm a little burned out of them Asian games, even though I do have Demon Slayer in my top 10. Let's just ignore that game. I'm very excited for Monster Hunter Worlds Wilds. It's still a very anticipated game for me. I'm still excited for it, but it's not something I could see putting in my top 10, just personally. And then going on to the next game, which is Dune Awakening, which is an MMORPG releasing, well, this year, obviously. That's why it's the 2025 list. And again, it just looks great. I love MMOs. I love just sinking 15 hours into MMOs. It's just sitting there playing MMOs until 3 a.m. with a cup of Coke is just, It's great. It's fantastic. I love World of Warcraft. I love MMOs just in general. I love EverQuest. I love MMOs. That's why I'm really excited for Dune Awakening, but it's another game which I just don't see entering my top 10. It doesn't beat out the games that are already in my top 10, but I think it's going to be great. We're running out of time, but I'm just going to mention these last three. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake, HD 2D remake. I've been playing the number 3 remake, and it's really fun. I love Dragon Quest 3. It's been a hell of a lot of fun playing the remake. That's why I'm really excited to play 1 and 2. I haven't finished 3 remake, but I've been enjoying it. I've been playing it on my Switch, and I will be picking up the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake for my Switch 2 when it launches later this year. Then going on to the last two games is Mouse PI for Hire, which is another one I'm fairly excited for. Main reason why it's on this list is because I feel morally obligated to mention indie games. I'm fairly excited for this game. It's another one which I don't see myself putting in my top 10, but I'm fairly excited for. I'm very confident it's going to do very well, and I'm excited to see what the indie devs are cooking up. It's looking like it's going to be really unique, and yeah, it's fairly exciting. And then the final game in my honorable mentions is Mafia: The Old Country, which is another one that looks really good. I've never played a Mafia game before, but it looks good. I think it looks decent, and I was really just looking for a last game to fill out this honorable mentions list. But you know, it was the list. It was the game that perked out the most. It looked interesting. I didn't mind looking at it, but it's really not something I'm that excited for. It's mainly just a filler game in these honorable mentions. So that's all. That's my list. Did you like it? Did you not? Did you think it was shit? That's fine if you did. Leave a comment if you thought it was shit. Interaction is interaction. And I want to hear what you guys' top 10 games were. Is it like, what was your top 10 games? Or maybe if you don't have top 10 games, you can't name top 10 games, what was your top 5 games? Well, fuck, you don't even need to name your top 5 games. Just name your top most anticipated game of 2025. You know, what's your most anticipated game of 2025? Is it GTA 6? Is it Outer Worlds 2? Is it Game of Thrones King's Road? Is it Demon Slayer? Is it Killer Bean the Game? Honestly, that would be the top comment if it was. Is it Ghost of Yotei like me, or is it Dying Like the Beast? What is your most anticipated game of 2025? I want to know. I'm generally interested. I will read your comment. I will like it. I will reply. I will rate it. If it's GTA 6, I'll call you a basic bitch, but it's your personal list. You can name it. You can name whatever you want. But I do want to hear what your most anticipated game of 2025 is. Again, mine is Ghost of Yotei. Did you think my list was shit? Do you think it was really good? I want you to rate my list. Was it good? Was it shit? But I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to go. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, all good.